Hi, I'm Mark Levy, your sourdough simpleton. And today we're going to do something, well, something which is a little bit different, which we've never really done before here on the Sourdough Simpleton. And that is to make a recipe that I've never made before. You see, I saw this recipe for a super fudgy sourdough-based brownie on the King Arthur website. I thought it'd be fun to try to do it along with you. So here we go. In order to do this, I have all the ingredients in front of me. We're going to need a stick of butter. Now we're using a non-dairy plant butter. That's 113 grams of butter. A cup or 198 grams of sugar. 54 grams of light brown sugar. This would be normally packed as about a quarter cup. Quarter cup? Yeah, quarter cup, I'm right. My memory serves me correctly on that one. 63 grams of cocoa. Now this is Dutch processed cocoa. You can use either regular or Dutch processed. It should come out better with Dutch processed. We'll go into that another time. About a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, a couple of large eggs, 113 grams of starter. Now this starter is unfed. This particular starter is at least a week or so old. It's been sitting around. It has no current activity to it. You might call this discard if you're in that neighborhood, but we'll call this unfed starter. Half a teaspoon of baking powder and some chips, chocolate chips. Now we're using dairy-free chocolate chips. It's 117 grams total. We'll do it in 2 batches. To begin with, you want an 8 by 8 inch square pan. Now we've lightly greased this and covered it with parchment, which we then greased again. And we're going to begin by going over to the stove and doing some mixing. Be right there. Here we are at the stove, and we're going to begin by mixing in. By the way, before I forget, get your oven up to 350 degrees. Let it preheat while we're doing all this. It won't take that long. It takes a while for many ovens to preheat. So oven preheated to 350. Rack in the center of the oven. All right. So we're going to begin by taking the stick of butter, or in this case, plant butter, the sugar, and the brown sugar. And we're going to heat this over a medium-high heat. As the butter melts and mixes all this together. This should take a few minutes. So it's been a few minutes, and the mixture is now beginning to bubble around the edges. It's time to go to the next step. So we removed it from the heat. We immediately mix in the cocoa. The vanilla. And the salt. And we whisk it until this mixture is smooth. Now we're going to let it cool for about 5 minutes, so we'll see you back after that. So the mixture has now been sitting, it's cooled a bit. We're going to add the first egg, and we're going to try to whisk that in as vigorously as possible into this mixture. And once that's all incorporated, we'll add the second egg. And again, whisk that in. Next comes the sourdough starter. I'm going to put that all in, mix that in. Try and get every golden, figuratively speaking, golden drop into this mixture. And then we'll whisk in the starter. So you want to whisk this in and mix it until it's totally mixed. Kind of hard to show you that on camera, but it just looks like a big, almost like a big bowl of chocolate syrup is what it looks like. But there's no white streaks, there's nothing left from the starter. And now we're going to put in the first part of chocolate chips. This is 85 grams of the total. We're going to mix those in. Baking powder goes in. And that is the batter. Now, this batter goes into our prepared pan here. I'm going to use my sourdough spatula to kind of make sure we get it all. Worked so hard for this, I don't want to waste any. And you're saying to yourself, but how about those other chocolate chips? They go on top. And they're actually going to melt in to help to create that wonderful sheen on top of the brownies. So, the remaining chips go sprinkling across the top. Not a lot. And then this goes into the oven, 350 degree oven, and 22 to 26 minutes. Top will be shiny, not wet looking. Let's see how it looks. We'll see you back after then. So it's been 22 minutes. Let's see how these look now. We're going to test them to see if they're done, and they are not. The tester still comes out very wet. So we're going to go for an additional 3 minutes or 4 minutes, and then we'll see how we're doing. We'll see you after that. By the way, before I leave you, for a tester, I don't use a toothpick. I use a coffee stirrer. It's longer, and it's still a flat piece of wood, and it works just fine, but I don't burn my fingers. Anyway, we'll see you in about 4 minutes. Now, that sound means that they may be ready. Let's find out. Well, my tester comes out with no raw batter, and that's the secret here. There's going to be a little bit of something on here, but it's not raw, so that's what we're after. If it comes out totally dry, you've probably overcooked it. So we'll take this out, put it on a rack. Now comes the worst part. We have to wait for an hour before we do anything else with these. So I guess I'll see you in an hour. Well, it's been about an hour, a little more maybe, a little less, whatever, but it's been about an hour. And these brownies, you can take a look at them. I mean, they look lovely. That's a nice brown color to them. The little chocolate chips up on top. Looks really nice. So let's try and give them a cut. We're going to go ahead and take them out of the pan here, and our parchment came out very easily. Unfolded nicely. So we'll go ahead and cut some brownies. And this is an 8-inch pan, so we'll cut it into 16 brownies by cutting it 4 by 4. Fairly even. We'll take a look. little bit soft. Came apart a little bit. This may firm up a bit more when they're in the fridge, so we'll have to wait and see. Give them a taste. Nice, delicious chocolatey taste. Very good, really. So, these may be a bit warm to have cut. My mistake. But we'll let them go in the fridge for a bit, firm up, and we'll go from there. All right, now do yourself a favor. After these brownies cool on the counter for an hour, stick them in the refrigerator to cool for another hour before you cut them. This is what they look like after they've been refrigerated for another hour. They're moist, they're chewy, they're delicious. Clearly that extra hour makes a difference, and this is the result. You can try this recipe. Let me know what you think. Now I made it without butter, with plant butter. And that may have been a difference in the way it came out. So you'll let me know what you think of it as well. In the meantime, I'm Mark Levy, the Sourdough Simpleton. We're going to get more video up for you real soon. Take care now.